Good afternoon. Welcome once again. These are a pack of 7 series. Today is the first day that we'll be touching on this particular issue. I'm still your brother Mazi Ihaichukwu Anyang. First of all, I want to apologize for coming late, and I want to say my coming late was not deliberate. What happened is that there are certain issues that we needed to resolve. And it brings me down to what we are going to discuss today. One of our sisters was attacked while she was doing her work just because she chose to serve her Creator through our own ancestors. You see, this is the problem that we have. We are living in Africa, but our people prefer the ways of the white man above their own ancestors' ways. Tell me, how can somebody in his right thinking sense attack a sister or a brother because the person is a traditionalist? Because they are trying to find spirituality in the traditional way. Why should they be attacked? One of our sisters, she was attacked. I received a call and we've been working on to really get to the root of the problem. She was attacked just because she was S1, just because she was doing what she's supposed to do, just because she was working the way she knows how to do, what she knows how to do. Just because she is Dibiafa, she was attacked. They brought down her house where she normally worked. They brought the house down, beat up her husband. Why? Just because she is a one. Nothing more. She didn't do anything. She didn't commit any crime. And the people that attacked her are our own Igbos. People from the same people that are in that same village. Then you keep wondering, why is it that you keep wondering why we are not being killed by Fulani henchmen? Why our people are not dying? Because when we have to rise, we don't rise. These same people who attacked this lady and her husband are the same people that will also be there. The Fulani henchmen will come and cut off their head and they will not do anything. But a woman that is doing her work, that has answered the call of her ancestors, you will find the strength and the time to go and attack her and attack her shrine. Because you believe you are wired for Jesus and she's not wired for Jesus. Because you believe in the stupid lie told by the white man. You have buried yourself in a religion that was brought to you by the Europeans. Then you attack your own sister that because she does not want to accept that fact, because she has woken up. This is what we have been in today. That is why I came late. She was attacked today. They destroyed her shrine. They beat up her husband. The husband, as I'm talking to you now, the husband is in the hospital. And we are not talking about something that happened in Europe. We are talking about something that's happened in Igbo land. You attacked a lady in her own shrine, somebody you call your own sister, just because she refused to be stupid as you are. She refused to be stupid. She refused to accept the lie that the white man sold to you and you accepted it. She refused to bow down to Jesus. You attacked her. And you call yourself an Igbo person. You attacked her. You attacked her husband. The man is in the hospital now, and you call yourself an Igbo person. How can an African in his right thinking sense, or an African who knows who he is, how can you come down so low to attack your fellow African because of the white man's lie, because of a religion that was given to you by the white man? I did not plan to talk about this today. I came to talk to us about who we are. But how can I tell you who you are when you are full of stupidity? When you are consumed by your foolishness? How can you attack your own person because of something that was sold to you, something that you don't even have an evidence that it is true? You don't know where it came from. They just brought it for you. from somewhere. It was imported and it was given to you. Something that, a story that has no base. A story that is filled with lies. Based on it, you are attacking your own foundation, your own very foundation, and you are wondering why things are happening to you. You are wondering why you people are dying young. You are wondering why you people cannot, nobody has, there is no regard, no respect for you. You people do not have peace. There is no place an Igbo man is staying today in the world that they have peace. Everywhere, the whole world, we are being pursued just because of our stupidity. You cannot build a house and the house will stand. It doesn't matter how small or big that house is. If the house have no foundation, we have betrayed our own foundation. Our very foundation has been betrayed. We have betrayed our very foundation. And what is that foundation? Our ancestors. We have cut off our root. And every day we are coming up with stupid ideas to destroy the root the more. Who told you that somebody cannot have a shrine? Somebody cannot have a shrine and communicate with his or her ancestors in Igbo land. If it's a pastor that has come to open a church, you people will welcome him. You will even contribute money. Ask yourself, all these cathedrals that we have in different villages, all these cathedrals that we have in different villages, how much did the white people come to our land with? They came with nothing. It was our own money, our strength. We brought the labor, we brought the resources that they used to build those cathedrals. Till date, nobody has pulled one cathedral down. Even if they fall, we will also bring money to rebuild it. People are contributing towards the church. Then you now see a young lady that was called. She answered her call because her ancestors called her. And then you now pass on her. You attacked her for being Ezenwani. For what? No. You people have beaten more than you can chew. And this one will not lie low. Because we cannot be in our place and be afraid. We cannot be in our place and be afraid. No. This is unacceptable. We cannot be in our own place and be afraid. For what? People have embraced. If you want to follow the white man in your stupidity, it is okay. But you have no right whatsoever to interfere in another person's faith or belief. We all cannot be stupid at the same time. We all cannot be stupid at the same time. No, it's about time. You see, that is why at times many of us are angry with so many of our brothers who are in this Omenala. Because some of them are in this Omenala for selfish interest. We have made this call that it is time we come together and defend this cause. This is not child's play. People will tell you it's because the person was doing a bad juju. Who made the church police over Ordinala? Who made the church police over Ordinala? If somebody is doing bad juju, leave us who are in Ordinala to judge the person. Leave us who are in Ordinala to deal with the person. We have our own way of dealing it. It is not the church that will decide how we will deal with somebody who is doing bad juju about somebody who is not doing bad juju. Who made the church police over African spirituality? You see, the more we keep dividing ourselves because of greed and selfish interest, the more these people will have their way. In as much as they have denominations, the church is united. If you like, believe it. If you like, don't. In as much as they have different denominations, the mosque is united. It is only we who are practicing traditional spirituality that is divided. It is something that is anchored individually, everybody on his own. There is no unity. And that is why it is easy for them to penetrate into you. Deal with one of you and then wait for the next person. Because they will pick on you guys one after the other. They will pick on you guys one after the other. It is about time we come together as a body. Forget about what you think you know. The problem is that everybody wants to lead. It's not about leading. It's about preserving what has been bestowed in our hand. It is about preserving what is in our hand. Where are we going to run to? You can't run away from your father's land. You cannot run away from your culture. You cannot run away from your tradition. Where are we running to? This is time for us. They have pushed us to the wall. If we don't come together and act fast, our tradition will die. African spirituality will die. Only you alone cannot. Nobody is an island. Nobody can be a forest. Or you alone cannot stand. We need to stand together. A slap on one is a slap on all. This is the strength of every other religion. Every other faith, this is their strength. A slap on one is a slap on all. Don't say it didn't happen to you. One day it will be your turn. One day it will be your turn. The snake that swallowed the fowl will one day swallow the rat. But if the fowl and the rat unite together, they can defeat the snake. It's very simple. It's simple logic. If we come together, we will fight this fight, and we will fight it, and we will win this battle. Why should our culture die? Why should our own spirituality die? What has this church that we don't have? What they have is that they are in unity. There are so many groups that unite them together. They have legal backing, but we do not have. I know how many calls I've been receiving from people who are supposed to, the same people you go to and say, do Alpha for me. They don't have peace. They can't stay in a place. They are pursuing them up and down, and we are doing nothing about it. How can we now establish Omenala? How can we establish African spirituality when we do not have the peace or the platform to do it? How can we do that? And what does it take to have platform? Because everybody wants to, all of you, everybody wants to, what you gain. You want to gain. If you're not gaining anything from it, you will not participate. If you're not gaining anything from it, you will not participate. That's why at times I look at most of our people, the people you respect so much, the people you think that they are human beings, you look at them, I look at them and I shake my head. Because so each and every one of them is seeing this awakening as an opportunity to build skyscrapers, to buy the car he has not been able to buy before. So when you tell them what we will do that will benefit everybody that is in this awakening, no, they won't do it. They want the people to remain in darkness so that they can feed on their ignorance. No, they will ask you how much are they going to get out of the whole thing. They themselves, because they have this dubious mind, they think that you yourself, you are doing it also for personal gain. So they will say you are getting something from it. How much are you giving from what you are getting? It is not about gain. It's not about profit. It's about creating a conducive atmosphere so that our people can serve what they are supposed to serve. Our people can be themselves and no longer be manipulated by Christianity or by any other religion. That is why we are in it. Then if there is gain inside of it for us, good and fine. But the major reason is for us to create an atmosphere so that somebody can, and a woman can stay and do her work. So that no Ezenwani will be beaten, no Dibia will be beaten, nobody will be harassed because you are practicing what your ancestors practiced. That is the thing. That is the main reason why most of us are in it. If you are in it because of the money you are going to make, fine and good. That is your own mentality. That is your mindset. It's not our own mindset. We have a different approach spiritually because what we want is a conducive atmosphere so that our people will be free to serve their ancestors without being mocked, without being harassed, without being molested. I can tell you this week alone, or let me say since last week, I can tell you how many people I know that has been beaten up because of this. They were practicing traditional spirituality. They were beaten up. I'm not talking about beating somebody, slapping. I'm talking about beating somebody unless the person had to end up in the hospital. This is across Igbo land. And tomorrow you wake up, you people start talking about your ancestors have left you. Why wouldn't they leave you? When all of you are behaving like bunch of fools that were gathered from the cow herds. Why would not your ancestors leave you? When the only thing you honor, the only thing you respect is the Bible that the white man gave you. The God that the white man introduced to you, that you call his name. Every small thing you call his name. The pastor that you go to his church, you don't even have respect or regard for your parents. Except if your pastor tell you to respect them. Except if the church tell you to respect them. Many of you do not participate in anything in the village again. You don't even make contribution to the development of the village. But you give tithe and offering every day to your church. And yet you still call yourselves that you have ancestors. You are all prodigal children. You are all prodigal children because you have left the place of honor. You have moved out of the normal level of glory. You have become a slave to a foreign introduction. You have become a slave to a foreign culture. You have become a slave to a foreign religion. You have become a slave to foreign concept. So let us not talk about ancestors here because they have nothing to do with you. That you came from their lineage does not mean that they should honor you. They cannot honor you. Neither will they respect you. Neither will they respect you. They cannot honor you, neither will they respect you. Let's not lie to ourselves. Let's not lie to ourselves. Your ancestors have done this, your ancestors have done that. Why should an ancestor protect a prodigal son? Tell me why they should protect you. Give me 2 good reasons why you should be protected by your ancestors. What have you done for your ancestors? What have you done for your people? Except for the fact you have forced your own children. You have forced their children, your children to believe in a God that you know that you are not even sure whether it actually existed, just because somebody told you. Where are we? I received a report today and I was really angry. That at this time and age that everybody is opening their eyes, that a group of youths, people that call themselves youths, can walk up to a shrine and destroy an African shrine. I was really disturbed because it's very alarming. It's very sad that our people are still in darkness, that they don't even want to know what Christianity is all about. That such a thing can happen in the heart of Igbo land. That a group of youths will get up, wake up, and go and destroy, not even destroying the shrine, they beat the man that owns that the wife owns the shrine up. They beat him up to an extent that they nearly killed him. Why? Because they have a shrine. Because they are trying to set up a place where they will do the work that they are called to do. It's so sad that at this particular point in time that we still have people. Then tell me how can we just in your own way, tell me how we can be free. When do you think that this freedom will come? It will never come. Because we have a generation of people that reason from their anus that the brain is not working, that they have no, they don't have sense in their vein. They don't think well. So it can never work. It can never work. We are talking about we liberating ourselves. How can you be free? How can you be free? This is why no matter what we cry, no matter how we cry, that political freedom we are looking for will never come. That political freedom. I told people something. I said, if what happened in Nigeria today did not happen, many of you so-called people that are deceiving themselves, you like to deceive yourself, not others, who will have claimed that the prayers you prayed, that your God answered it. That is why there is a change of government. But you can see the government did not change. So many of you, so many people that told me that they are going to do 60 days fasting, and I'm wondering where did the prayer end? Because at the end of the day, we are more deeper in shit than we were before the election. I'm not here to talk about election, but I want to use it to open your eyes and let you people understand that you've been dancing around a fire that has nothing to do with you. You've been dancing around a circle. You are the one deceiving yourself. The day you choose to come out of that concept You were born in it, fine. But that you were born in it does not make it right. It does not make it right at all. The biggest deception that has ever existed on the planet Earth is Christianity. Because if I say religion is it depends on the level. But Christianity is the biggest deception that has ever existed. Because it was out of Christianity that came all of this so-called religion. All of them. The biggest deception is Christianity. And the worst part is that the Igbos are deeply soaked in it. The Igbos are soaked in it, in that concept, in that deceptive concept. The Igbos are soaked in it. So as long as you are in Igbo land, no place to run, no place to hide. You are open. The Igbos are soaked in that Christian concept. The Igbos are soaked deep in it. Why should we abandon our own? Why should we reject our own and embrace something that is foreign? Something that is not peculiar to us. You look at the stories, you cannot relate with it. You cannot connect with it. You cannot identify yourself with the stories you are hearing, but yet you want to hold on to it. What a foolish way. How can you live all your life living a life of illusion, living a fake life? Honestly, I'm not happy. I came out here to talk to us about who we are, to talk to us about our spiritual life. As I was about to start, I had a call. Because I've been having this series of calls, but this one that happened today is the worst of it all. I had a call. And I was disturbed because really, at times there are some things that we need to really put on check. And this comes, yes, my brother, the truth of the matter is that the Igbos are the problem of the Igbos. We are our own problem. The biggest problem we have is we Igbos, we are our own problem. And our problem is that there are so many of us that feel that they too know. They know too much. In fact, to them, as far as they are concerned, our ancestors know nothing. And these people are the major problem that we have. That is why the people are dying suddenly in Igbo land. That is why there is so many sickness in Igbo land, because of these same people that know too much. They have abandoned the ways of their ancestors. They have neglected the ways of their ancestors. They have rejected the ways of their ancestors. So because they have come to understand, or so to say, they believe that they understand the ways of the Western world, and to them, it is a way that you will commit sin and you get away with it. Most of these people are bad people. They are not ready to change. Just because a religion preaches forgiveness, that tells them that no matter what you do, that you are already forgiven. So those ones who are not ready to change, those ones who never wanted to change, they have focused on it and then anchored their feet on that religion and choose to protect it by all means so that they can live in their sin forward. And nothing will happen to them. You see? But we need to call ourselves to order. We need to realize that when the Bible was given to us, it was given to us for a purpose, to take our mind away. That is why we keep telling you that you've lost your mind. Your mind has been stolen from you. Your mind has been taken away from you. That is the main purpose. That is why the so-called scripture was given to you in the first place, to take your mind away. You are no longer in control of your life. You are being remoted. You are being manipulated by the scripture that was given to you. So whatever you want to do, they will tell you that it is your manner. You now go as a robot, you go to that place. You are no longer a free thinker. You now go to that place to check what you need to do. Is that not stupidity? Is that not stupidity? It is stupidity. You go, you have to check. It is the check and balance in that same scripture that decides what you do. Before you sleep with your husband or with your wife, you go and check in the scripture. Before you eat, you go and check in the scripture. Before you smile, you go and check. If somebody slap you, you first of all have to check in the scripture, know whether you will bounce back or not. Is that not foolishness? They use the scripture to steal your mind from you. They took your mind away. You have no mind again. That is why you are thinking and reasoning and acting like a fool. Because you cannot, you are just merely, you are a human being in image, but then in your nature, in your emotional, psychological, and spiritual nature, you are an animal. You can't reason into anything because your mind has been taken away from you. The only thing that separates you from that animal is the mind, and that mind has been taken away from you. So you can no longer reason properly. And you think you are normal. When somebody tries to call you to order, you say, ha, this guy has blasphemed. Look at what this guy is saying. Ha, he's going to go to hell. Who told you that there is hell? Who told you that is hell? Who told you that is even heaven? Let's do some calculation here. Let's be real for once. Let's just be real for once. Sorry to interrupt, but let us be real for once. Now, when you die, your flesh is buried, your spirit is taken. Now, have you ever seen the spirit before? No, because it is a spirit, it's not physical. Okay, fine. The spirit now goes. How can a spirit, something that is spirit, how can it go and live in a physical place? Now, how can a spirit go to a place that the spirit is going to eat a physical food? Something they're telling you is not logical. How can a spirit go to a place where there are physical gold, silver, and diamond? These are physical things. And they're telling you that is when you die, that is where your spirit is going. Where the road is tied with gold, and you'll be given a physical house, a mansion. Can't you just see how stupid you are for even believing that they're going to build a physical house for a spiritual being? The house that you never lived in. Now you're going to live in that same house. Your spiritual nature will live in that same house that you couldn't live, and it's a physical house. Can't you see that you are being? But the truth of the matter is that these people understand that your brain is not functioning. They've taken away your mind. You've lost your mind. That is why they are telling you everything, every story, every Kakabu story. Imagine a place where a man that called himself man of whatever would tell his followers to eat grass. He would tell them to drink bleach. Now you see these people doing this thing, and then you the issue is that their mind has been taken away. They've lost their mind. And when you lose your mind, you start behaving like an animal, because the difference between you, living being, and animal is the mind that you have. Animals don't have it. The mind is different from the sense. It is your mind that allows you to know exactly, to be able to think deep into certain things. But many of you have lost your mind. Many of you have lost your mind. You call it the scriptures. I met a young man and he was quoting so many scriptures for me. I looked at him and said, this one is dead. I didn't waste my time. I just had to delete him, block him. Because I don't need, the way it is now, the level we are in now, nobody needs anybody to drag you back. We need to be moving forward. I just blocked him and delete him and move ahead. Maybe there are those that he will meet that will help him wake up. But for me, the man is and we are talking, I realized that he was dead. He was dead. And that is the truth. The young man is dead. And that was why I could not do anything. There are some conversations you don't go into. The average African man have lost his mind. How can you? You don't even do this. The white people you are following, they have shrines. They have shrines that are independent of the so-called Christianity. And nobody have ever set any of them ablaze. They have altars that are dedicated to their gods that are not even part of the church. Nobody have ever set any of them ablaze. Your people will travel all the way from Africa and pay money to go and see those places as sightseeing. Now you have people who are practicing the original, and you are attacking people and beating people because of what? Because you are stupid. No, that nonsense has to stop. It must stop. It must stop. And it is people like you and I that will put a stop to it. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. You cannot be in your home and somebody is intimidating you. No, we need to act, and we need to act now. It's about time people come together, because if we must preserve our culture, if we must preserve our religion, if we must preserve our faith, our belief, if we must preserve, we need to come together and act now. Enough is enough. Somebody cannot be in Rome and be controlling what is happening in Africa. Somebody cannot be in England and be controlling what is happening in Africa. They've taken over the government. Then will we allow them to take over our culture? Will we allow them to take over our minds by choosing for us what to believe in and what not to believe in? Well, this is the highest level of slavery. This is the highest level of slavery. Somebody can enslave you physically, and you still believe in what you believe. It's just like when you force a woman to marry you. You can force her to marry you, but you cannot force her to love you. But imagine a situation whereby you are forced to marry a man and you are also forced to love the man. So that means it's the highest level of slavery. That means you don't have the free will to choose who to love. So we don't have the free will to choose what to believe. We don't have the free will to choose what to accept as our faith. Why are we like this? What kind of weak generation is this? What kind of weak generation is this? Why are we like this? We are hearing every day that people are being beaten up. People are being beaten up. For what? They did not steal. They did not rob. They did not lie. Just because they were practicing what their ancestors left for them. No, we need to fight this fight. It is not one person's fight. It is not one man's fight. It is our fight. We need to fight this fight. At least to create an atmosphere that will be conducive for our children to live and have and exercise their faith the way they deem fit. Go to all the places. It is the traditional religion that overcome other places. If you come to Europe, Christianity is the one that decides who and what happens in Europe. You go to India, it is Hindu that decides who and what happens in India. You look at the Arabians, it is Islam that decides who and what happens in Arabia. You go to China, it is everywhere you go. It is the tradition of the people that decides what and what takes place in that place. But when you come to Africa, the tradition of the people is being squeezed by foreign religions, foreign concepts, and we are smiling and we are laughing. What is funny about it? It is not funny at all. 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 I came here to talk about something I feel that we should know. But look at what I have spent almost more than half an hour talking about something I never prepared to talk about. is wrong with us? What is actually wrong with us? Upon all the whole thing that we are going through as a people, if they tell me that a Nigerian, how much more an Igbo person, will even still believe in anything that comes from the West, I won't believe it. That means you people are happy. There's no point anybody, bothering himself about you people. You people should continue to suffer. Yes, so you people should continue to suffer until when you have realized that your main problem is the West, and everything that the West has given to you is nothing but a fuel to keep empowering those problems around you. That the hardship you are going through now is the West. That the frustration you are seeing now is the West. That everything was designed to frustrate you and frustrate your life. I don't care what it is. Every structure they have set, from their political structure to their religious structure, from education to their financial structure, everything was set to useless the life of an average African person. Today now they are telling you to inject your children with things they themselves have created. What? To reduce your population. And the funny thing is that many of our people are lining up for that injection. Many of our people are taking their children to go and inject them. Even if you tell them till tomorrow, they won't believe. It is when the child have grown out of age that they will not realize that they made a mistake. Why are we so stupid? Why is it that we believe these people and we believe them with all the foolishness in us? A people that enslaved you, a people that colonized you, a people that up to date they are feeding from you, and you are not eating a dime from what they are feeding from. Many of you that have not traveled have traveled. Come and see the whole of Europe. Very beautiful. Where is the money coming from? There is no single European. How much are they getting from tax? There is no single European country that has the mineral resources. It is you that is sustaining them. Look at your place and look at their place. Look at your place and look at their place. Because they have a bunch of agents that call themselves in the name of pastors and politicians that are busy taking away your mind from the reality, removing your focus from the stealing that they are stealing from you. Nigeria is an oil nation. Go and check who are the people eating the oil, the money of the oil. Do you know that Shell BP takes oil and gives account of what they want to give account of, and then the one they don't want to give account of, they won't give. Whatever they tell you is what they have taken. Maybe they might take up to 100 barrels, let's for example, and then they will declare only 4 barrels. Nobody questions them because it's only them that have the record of whatever they have consumed or whatever they have, extracted from the oil, and then whatever they have sold. Now, this is just one of it. Now, so also in so many other things. And so many other things. Now, it is said that all the French countries in Africa are still paying colonial fee to France. I don't know what we are going to say or do for most of you people who are still not just blind but foolish. Most of you to wake up. I don't know what we are going to say or do. I'm not here to attack the West. They are doing what is going to favor them and their children. But what are we doing for ourselves and our children? What are we doing for ourselves? Do you think it's for you to buy motor and build a house and think you are safe? If you have motor and a house and you give it to your son, and your neighbor is in poverty, the next day your son will be his first victim. They will come with gun and rob and kill your son and even kill your grandchildren. So what have you done? The best thing we can do for ourselves is to create a conducive atmosphere for all. Even if the man does not have, even if he's not as rich as you are, at least he's comfortable. He will not think evil of you. So why do we think that this is a personal something? Why is it that we are taking it as if it's personal? The only thing we are thinking of is how to make that money and buy that car and build that house. So you can go to any church and say, any pastor, pray for me. You don't even want to know the means of which the man is generating the power. Because he has given it the Jesus level. And then the same Juju man you went to his house to burn or to set fire is the same place that the pastor is getting the power he's using to pray for you. Why don't you now go direct? Why should you have a man that is between you and the man that is supplying the power? Just because this one gave his own Jesus level and the other one did not give his own Jesus level. Can't you see how stupid or how foolish we are? Can't you see that we as a people, that we have a problem? Can't you see that we have a problem? That we are our own problem. I don't know how to talk to us, but it's very disturbing that at this time and age that we will still be attacking our own people. Especially those who are doing the right thing. Those who are sustaining this our culture. This is our traditional belief. Why should we be attacking them? And even if you practice, the funny part of it is that if an African is here is in Europe or in America practicing African tradition, nobody will attack that Africa. Nobody will attack that Africa. The only time an African will be attacked is when an African is practicing that traditional belief in his own village, in his own town, in his own land, Africa. That is when you see some stupid bunch of no-do-well. They will not come and attack the man. I've watched too many of these videos. And people will always find a reason to justify it. You have no right whatsoever. You have no right whatsoever. Whatsoever. And the funny thing is that what you are doing is just to frustrate the person, but you have not driven the spirit away. So for your information, you that have attacked the place, brought the house down, the same spirit that you think you've destroyed is still there. Because those things are not the spirit. Those images have nothing to do with the spirit. They're just a representative. So you frustrated the person that is taking care of the spiritual door. Then what you have done is to open the door for every kind of spirit to come in. That is why within a distance of 2-3 years, people will start dying in that environment. And there will be nobody to stop them, because the man that is taking care of them, the man that is arranging that thing, because it's all about energy. You have ended up opening door both for the negative and the positive one to come in, because everything has to be managed. It's like a vehicle. Somebody is driving it. If you take away the driver from the car and the car is still running, the car will hit so many things on the way. It may hit human being, it may hit a tree, it may run off the road, because there is nobody controlling the car. So when you take away the driver, you've not stopped the car, because the car is still running. What you have done is to endanger the life of those who might be at that road at that particular time, or whatever that is on that road at that particular time. And that is what many of you do. And you think you have done so well. You have destroyed the house. Fine, the physical house is done. What about the spiritual one? Why can't we grow out of this nonsense? Why can't we grow out of this nonsense? We shouldn't be talking about this at this time and age, with all that we have been going through as a people, with everything that we are suffering. We should not be talking about this. We should not be talking about this. But all the same, there is no problem, because in our place, they say when the bird learns to fly without perching, the hunter will also learn to shoot without aiming. That is what it is. Because when you change the beating of the music, those who are dancing will also change the step of the dancing steps, so that it will match the rhythm of the music. It's as simple as that. It's quite unfortunate that in our own land, our people do not appreciate our culture. our traditional belief, they do not celebrate it. Rather, they try to give us the impression that it is something that should be tolerated and not celebrated. But when the same people are giving you the impression that Christianity should be celebrated and not tolerated. No. No, 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 no. Not in my watch. We have to balance the equation. We have to, if you want to feel inferior, that is your problem. But as long as I'm concerned, the white man religion is not better than my own religion. The Western religion is not better than my own religion. I have nothing against them. They can believe in whatever they want to believe. But as long as we are Africans, our traditional religion comes first. Our ancestors is placed above every other ancestor. As long as in Africa, we should place our ancestors above every other ancestor, above Abraham and all the rest of them. We have to place our ancestors above every other ancestor because we are Africans. And that is something we will not take. We have had enough of this nonsense. And I think it's about time it has to stop. So without denying you people what I said I was going to touch on, let me quickly go to that area. I'm sorry I have to apologize for deviating, but I mean the situation calls for it. I said today we'll be talking about who are we, and until we understand who we are, a lot of things will be going wrong. So that is a question that we really need to ask ourselves. Who are we? Who are we? Are we just because look, from what I just said now, you see that many of us behave like animals. But we are not animals. We are human. We are human. And not just only human, we are spirit beings that occupy a human body. We are spirit beings that occupy a human body. So our life is 100% spirit and 100% human. Why do I say so? We are totally spirit and we are totally human. Understand me? I'm going a little spiritual now, and I want you to follow me. We are 100% spirit and 100% human. And if you don't understand the spiritual aspect of our lives, you will live a fake and a false life. Now, many of you have been heard about sin. Sin. Let's define the word sin. What is sin? According to some of you who are Christians or who have the Bible, or some of you who are Muslims, sin simply means to miss the mark. To miss the mark. Okay, what does it mean to miss the mark? Let's say, for example, you write an exam and you did not pass. So that means you didn't get the mark. You have missed the mark. Okay, let's use the practical something. Let's say you have a stone and you want to stone a bed, and you throw the stone at the bed and the stone does not hit the bed. That means you have missed the mark. So what to miss the mark means? To miss your target. To miss your target. So your target means that there is a particular thing you want to do, or that the particular thing you ought to do. And at the moment you do not do it, that means you have missed the mark. That means you have committed sin. So let's go with this, because if you like, you can go and check the definition of sin. So now ask yourself, if you are created in this earth for a purpose, and you do not fulfill your purpose, you did not meet your divine giving purpose. Now, have you missed the mark or not? Of course you have missed the mark. So that means you have committed sin. And let me shock you. This is the only sin. This is the only sin that nature and man has recorded. The greatest sin on earth today is you not fulfilling your purpose in life. First of all, nobody is here by accident. We are all here by design. All of us are here by design. And you are called here and an assignment is given to you. That is why you are here at the first place. So when that assignment is not achieved or when that assignment is not well carried out, you have sinned. Not just against nature, but you have sinned against yourself and you have sinned against the universe. Because you have a purpose and you need to fulfill your purpose. Now, and you cannot know your purpose until you understand who you are. Understand where I'm coming from? You cannot know your purpose until you understand who you are. And this is one thing that religion took away from all of you. They told you in Christianity that not what goes into the mouth of a man that defies a man, but what comes out of the man. But I tell you that it is a very big lie. It's a very big lie. You say out of the heart of the man proceeds evil. Now ask yourself, how does that evil come? Nobody is born with evil. No child is born with evil. Now it is the intake of thoughts, the intake of vision, the intake of words that generate and builds that evil. Before a child starts looking at you as a very bad person, that child must have heard from the mother or the father or from the elderly ones or from other people that this man or this woman is bad. And the more the child hears about how bad that man or that woman is, the more the child takes it in. So it's not something that is just coming out. It is something that is already been that has been accumulated. He has been taking in all this while. So the day he will not push it out is as a result of the things that were accumulated, the over-accumulated intakes that now produced that hatred or that produced that bad character. Now, before a child insults you, the child must have felt insulted by you. The child must have felt intimidated by you before the child reacts. In my place, they say, Amawa ajonkukwa, ajukwa fiyo. Now, there is no way something can come out of you except it is what you previously took in. So whatever you are bringing out is as a result of your intakes. When you take in so many good things, you produce good, positive things. Now, when they say to you that it is what goes into, not what goes, it is what goes into the man. What goes into a man that defies him, not what comes out of it. Whatever comes out of a man is as a result of what has been taken in. Whether it is thought, words, or even food. The poison that kills you is not the poison that comes out of you. It is the poison that you took in, you ate, you drank. Stop allowing these Christian concepts to deceive you. It is what goes into a man that defies him, not what comes out of a man. What comes out of a man is the result of what has already been taken in. Let us understand spirituality, and that is why many of you can never rise more than your level, because when you keep having this kind of mentality that it is what, not what goes into the mouth of that you take a lot of rubbish into you. Your body becomes a dumping ground for toxic. And then because you've been told that it's not what goes into you that defies you. It's what comes out. How can something come out of you when if you go to toilet, you can only release what you ate, not what you didn't eat. If you like, don't eat for 2 days. See if you push anything out when you go to toilet. Can't you see that when you drink less water, you will not even feel like peeing because there is nothing there to pee. So before something comes out of you, you must have taken in something. It is the intake that determines what comes out of you. So when somebody tells you next time that it is not what goes into the mouth of a man that defies a man, tell him that he lies. That he is a liar. That you've discovered, you've investigated, it is what goes into the mouth of a man that defies a man. When you see a child dressing improperly, maybe you see a woman trying to show some of her body, how did she come to that level? It's because she has seen other people do it. Because she has been watching some either films, pictures, or she has seen people in her neighborhood dressed like that. People do things by what they imitate, and whatever you, it's like you are, it's an intake. Whether you take it through your eyes or your ears, or through your nose, or through your mouth, it's something that has come in. You are not releasing. You are not reflecting on that which you have received inside of you. So let us not be deceived by these so-called or these nonsense scriptures that they quote here and there. So what defies a man is what comes in, and it brings me to the topic because we are talking about who we are. I said I'm going to be on this topic for 7 issues. So I'm going to be on this topic for the next 28 days, every Eke day, and today is Eke. So what are we saying? The one I'm going to touch on today is what we eat. What we eat. There are so many things we eat, whether we are eating with our eyes, or with our ears, or with our nose, or with our mouth. Food is food. You know, some time ago we talked about the food of the spirit. We said this food of the spirit is taught. So when we talk about food, these things are included. Now I'm going to tell you how these foods defy us. But let me start with physical food, because from the known you get to the unknown, so that everybody will be carried along. I want people to understand it. Then when we have a picture of what the physical food does, we can now go into other areas of food. Now, what are the physical foods? Now, for example, I'm going to set an example now. And when I'm saying something, because I hate later people will start asking me questions. Please pay a little attention, so that you'll be able to, you won't drag me back again, or you won't call me to start asking certain questions, which you would have things that you are supposed to know. They are very simple things. Now, for example, I normally try to use the Igbos for reference. Let me use the Igbos for reference. Before the war, it was very few Igbos that were eating cattle. The Igbos had no regard or value for meats that are not breeded in our place. So our people were eating goat meat because we had it, and also sheep meat, fowls, and we are eating a lot of this meat. So it was after the war that the northern part of Nigeria now flooded our place with their cattle. Now, there is something you people don't know about this cattle. It is from there we make suya, fine, we make a lot of meats. But those meats are defied. No Igbo man in his right senses is supposed to settle for cattle. What our people normally eat is what is called cow. Ehi. Not nama. Cow is what we ate, what we used to eat. What we used to eat. And it was what was common to our people. And we don't eat it anyhow. It is something that is being prepared each time there is an occasion or a celebration. They will kill the cow and people will share it, or they will cook it for that particular ceremony. Normally, what people used to cook in their house is either you kill a goat or other meats, even some bush meats. But it was never cattle. It was never nama. But today now, many of our people are eating nama. Now let me tell you, this is nama. Most of these people that breed them have sex with them. Now they defy these things and they bring it to you to defy you. You see that the Igbos are now the weak, the weaker ones. The Igbos are now the where you get people who are not reasoning well. Because most of these things they have supplied to you, especially this their meat, they've used it to defy all our youths. Some of you will say, you've not gone to buy nama, but many of you eat suya every day. You've not gone to the market to buy it now, but many of you eat what meats that are prepared, like pepper soup and all that are prepared with these meats. Now, it is about time we start asking ourselves questions, because what goes into your mouth defies you. Don't let them lie to you. This is why our people are living a careless life. So you have to, there is no, now ask yourself, why is it that these same people that say this meat to you, they themselves don't eat it? They don't eat this meat. What they eat is ram and goat. If the meat is as good as you yourself, you deem it to be, then why are they not eating it? Why is it that it's only you that is buying it from them that is eating it? This one is one. This is one. And this thing has resulted in so many. That's why many of you will sleep and you will start having some stupid dreams. Some of you are possessed by strange demons that you don't know, because of the meat you have bought, because of the meat you have ate. Because it's not ordinary. Now, like I said, when our people kill cow, some things are done. It is not just ordinary. They kill cow during ceremonies and rituals are being done. The only thing you can see an Igbo man eating anyhow is goat and other small animals that are meant to be cooked with. And even at that step, some people will, even before they kill it, they still go through, you still have to do some rituals to appease the gods before they start eating those meats. But you go to the market, you buy any cow. You don't know who killed it, you don't know how it was killed, you don't know what killed the cow. You don't know the process that the cow went through to get to where it is, where you bought it as a meat. And you cook it and you eat it. And you're asking yourself, why is it that you don't have money? Why is it that you are doing business and the business is not working? Why is it that you are weak? Why is it that you cannot pregnant your wife? Why is it that you as a man, you are weak? You are sick? You are asking yourself so many questions, but you are the one that has caused these problems to yourself. By not checking what you eat. By not checking what enters into your mouth. By not checking what enters into your stomach. So, there are a lot of things that we need to check. That is why spiritual life, if somebody tells you that your physical state of being have nothing to do with your spiritual life, then that person is a lie. Ask that person, why is it that certain people who are in touch, good for them? Or why is it that some women who are going through that has a lot to do with your spiritual life? They are interwoven. So what you eat physically can affect you spiritually, big time. Big time. That is why if you some cults, there are certain foods they don't eat. In Igbo land, there are certain levels you will get to. For example, if you are not Ozo or Nze, there are certain places you cannot enter and you cannot eat. In fact, many of them don't eat outside their home. No matter what you do, you can never see many of these people eating outside their home. There is a reason for it. So if food is not important, if how foods are prepared or what you use to prepare the food is not important, these people would have been eating outside their home. So let us not argue what we don't know. So if somebody tells you that there is nothing wrong in what you eat or the meat you buy in the market, that person is deceiving you. Most of the problems you have is not because of what you did. Most of them came to you because you were ignorant of certain things and you allowed certain things into your life. This one now we are talking about physical food. We are going to get to every other food. So you allowed certain things into your life, and those things are the things causing problem in your life. And that is why you will see yourself, you will be in the dream and you are eating in the dream. After eating, your belly will swell. Check, maybe 2 or 3 days before, you went and bought meat in the market. You didn't know how that meat was killed. That is, cow meat does not mean that you should be buying it. Most of these meats coming from the north are polluted, they are contaminated. But you see yourself, you eat it. After eating it, you keep asking yourself, why is it that things are not moving for you? Except you now submit to a certain group of court, to a court system. you can never progress or proceed in life. So you see our people, instead of being the head, we are not the tail. We are not following these people behind, because they have really worked on us through the food they are supplying us. And that is why it is necessary for us as a people to go back to farm. I've traveled around the world. There is nobody, no Arabian person, that will walk into any other shop, even in a white man's shop, and buy meat and eat. Even if you invite them cook food, they will not eat, because they don't know the meat you use in cooking it. They don't want to know the meat you are cooking. Even if they are doing the meat. No, none of these people will eat anything from you, because they know that what you eat affects your spiritual life. Because your body is like water. Once there is a drop of oil in it, it is no longer clean water. Once there is small stain in your life, there is no it. Your body, your presentation will always have command. And this is something we need to understand. So if you think that, forget this, yes, so, but it will come a time when you will need to remember this, that you had a man speaking strongly on the kind of meat you eat, speaking strongly on the kind of food that you eat. Because at times most of us forget that there is a place you will go to, and if something is wrong, they will just go to the river. Maybe it's a place that have a river, and they will fetch the water from the river, and they will say, okay, take this water as well. Now, if what we eat is not important, I mean, what goes into our mouth is not important, or it's not powerful, then why should people, after taking that water and taking that oath, if they are guilty, they will just, it will manifest. Why? It is because what we eat has a lot to do in influencing our life as a people. And that is why I want to talk to us today about what we eat. And I said, let us start with food. I have taken your time, and I pray and I hope that we are going to go deeper next time. Because I really wanted to talk to us about this, but what came up, and I don't want us to really spend too much time on today's meeting. So next AK day, I'm going to open to you, apart from, we've talked about the physical food, apart from the physical food, the other foods that we are eating. For example, sex is food. Sex is food. So we will talk about it, and then I will tell you how it affects your life. How it affects your life. Why is it necessary that a woman, why our forefathers made it that a woman has to remain a virgin until she marries. And then if she doesn't marry a virgin, the negative effect it will have on her life and the life of the man that marries her. Then how we can avert it, what we can do to change it, because I know that many of you are non-virgins. So we are going to talk about what we ought to do to make things right. Next, again, we are going to talk about sex. It's another part of food. Today I have made you to understand that what you eat, if you want to eat meat, let it be meat that you saw them killing. You have to be there. It's you that you see the meat. You are the one that killed the meat you are eating. You know the process it went through before it was killed. Even those who are following the Bible told that you should not eat a meat that is strangled. What is trying to say? How do you know a meat that is strangled? Except you, of course, were there when the meat was killed. So you should not eat what is not familiar to you. If you want to so this is what it is all about. Most of the things we import from the north have nothing to do with us. We should not put them into our mouth. We shouldn't even consider eating it. How much more eating it as a people. So I'm going to talk to us. We are going to talk on sex. I'm sorry that today's day was consumed by the events that happened today. But I had to voice it out because really I'm not happy that one of our sisters and her husband they were attacked because of what they believe in. And I think it's about time we rise against this ugly wave. You know, it's a storm, but we are equal to the task. So once again, I want to thank you people for tuning in. And I know that next section, next decade, is going to be, powerful. So once again, I thank you for tuning in, and I thank you for being part of this. I will say to you, have a nice time, and happy new month. We just entered the month yesterday. Yesterday was our first day, and today we are in the second day of the month. I hope and I wish you the best in this month, as we go through this wonderful journey, together. So next again we'll be talking about sex. It's another type of food. So I hope we'll all tune in, and then we'll be able to go deep because we'll have enough time to discuss. It's a 1 hour program, and I'm sorry that the day events has taken over the day, but I promise you next week we are going to go deep, very deep. Thanks a lot for tuning in.